Welcome to the Low Boys Garage. I like low cars and fast cars. The first three videos were just footage that I had laying around. I have more that I'm going to be uploading, including this video. Only like 2 or 3 more after this. After that, it will be up-to-date content, but most of it was shot a few months ago, almost a year ago. So, sorry for not exactly communicating, and more time lapses and just music playing. Hopefully, just try not to skip through the video and watch the whole thing. It really helps. Share, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Hope you enjoy. Alright. So, I'm working on my car. And I'm trying to get the rear coil out so I can put my coilover in. And I ran into an issue. I left the top inside, but I snapped the bolt because it's rusty. And now my lower control arm is stuck. Well, the front of it's stuck in. The rear I haven't tried yet. I'm kind of discouraged now. The front was not easy. I think it's just something with the driver's side, because the front, I had to cut the fork in half because the bolt got seized to the bushing and it wouldn't come out. So I had to cut the fork enabled to get the strut out. So I had to order new one, so I went with a 2-inch drop so I can go lower eventually. And I did the same with the rear, but I wasn't thinking I'd have to cut it. So I got these fresh 2-inch drop lower control arm by the same company. I was hoping I could just throw them in, be done in a few days. No. The bolt snapped. So I think I'm gonna have to drill it out, get the rear off, and get the same size as the rear is, put my coil in, put the new arms in, and then go from there. But the passenger side was so easy on the front, so I'm hoping it's going to be the same in the rear. Hopefully. And it doesn't snap like it just did. Because I did the front coil in the right, the passenger side in the day. That took me a month. Because it was freezing. I got discouraged. I was thinking of different ways to do it. And so I just ended up ordering them, and then I cut that off. Had to redo the passenger side. Okay. It's a few days later. Snapped more bolts. And what I'm doing to, I don't know if you can see it, but right in front there is a That's my lower control arm. I'm just cutting it off. That is how I'm going to counteract the snapped bolts. I don't know what I'm going to do with the front one. I'm going to do that for both sides, and hopefully it comes out, because this one I've already snapped that bolt. And I can't really do anything to my car interior wise with it on rear jacks because it shakes. But since I didn't want to work on it, I kind of started painting my bay. It went from this crappy silver, and I'm painting it this nice bright white. So it's gonna look so much better with the white. Okay, so it's out. Only took a little of that blade. Mostly I could have got it out with one, but it bent right at the end. It's right here. Right at the end. And the blade got stuck in it. It flexes when you, it's hard to do with one hand, but it tries to flex now. But I got these to go in once I get the rest of it out and the rest of the front out, and then this side will be done. I'm so pumped for. But since that's out, I am going to cut this one out. Yay! I got an exhaust to worry about on this side, so makes it even harder. I'm excited for this side. But I think I'm gonna clean the garage up. I started the other day. Started cleaning it. But I think I'm gonna clean up a little more. Like all my hardware for my engine bay. Get that up here with the rest of it. And then throw that in Zach's car. Throw out the empty cans. Put the cans away in the cabinet. Put my fender with the other one. Because this one's almost done. You can see where, you can kind of see where the Bondo was. But I got body filler to get the little imperfections out of all the spots. So then this fender will be done, and I can put the final coat of primer on it. And then once the engine bay is done getting painted, I can throw that back on. Do the other side, throw that one back on. Once the rear is done, then I'm going to address the camber. This side has barely any. And then, it's not that different, but it's pretty. I think it's just they're shifted a little different on each side. Hopefully that's the issue, so I can just push them that way to get more camber. No, I think I'm going to do it the other way just so my tires last a little longer. Since I'm spending so much money, I don't want to be right now. But it's turning out good. Also got my new headliner. Going with a flannel. Because in the front, it's coming off, so might as well do that while Zach's doing his headliner. But then I'm gonna focus on the rear, get those done, get it on the ground, finish up here, get most of the front end back together, get my headlights, fenders back on, get the fenders done with body work. I did a little more work on the front bumper because the old owner must have hit a trailer hitch or something, so there's like a hole pushed in, so I drift stitched that. Then I'm gonna cut under here and get this bolt out so I can pull the radiator back and get down in here all this and down there without spraying the radiator, just so I don't gotta go back in there. Well, I already am, because I'm not spraying all this. I'm just tucking all the wires back here because it's gonna suck to get in there. It's already hard enough to clean like small spots like this. Okay, so garage is cleaner than it was. A lot cleaner. It's been the cleanest. This is the cleanest it's been since I moved the bench from here to here, because I insulated pretty much this whole wall and put flooring in and moved the bench up against the wall. So now that I have room, hold on. Pip was trying to escape. Or pop my back tire. One of the two. Now that I have room over here, I'm going to tackle the strut. Because I'm just cutting it out, and then I'm going to worry about the other parts that I have to get out. But if I keep up at this rate, I should be able to have it done in a few days, hopefully. I thought this was only going to take a few days in the first place, but no. So I'll either work on this side or the other side, haven't decided yet. And I'll get back to you once I decide and get something out. Okay, so I've done a few things from the last time. Rear coils are in. Front have been in. I just finished the measurements of my coilovers. I did a pretty good job. So the front were the same. Rear is left. Me. I think I threw it away. But this is supposed to have a point. This is supposed to be connected here. And then this is supposed to be connected here. And they're not. So when it's in, this bolt got stuck, so I just cut it and then bashed the bolt out. And in doing that, I cracked my hub thing, what it bolts to on one side. So I'm going to weld that up today, and so that I thought that side would have been lower, but actually the rear right is lower. And I got a new header. Doesn't sound much different from the old one. Okay, so you can see all the black soot from my exhaust leaking. Oh, my axle is leaking. But yeah, that's the gap I need to fix. Get it right there, and then I got a piece, but it unbolts from there and back there, and then okay. So if you have this similar problem like me, best option is to unbolt the manifold so it has that play, and then stick the exhaust together and then bolt it back up. And now I'm gonna grab my welder, send a few tacks on there, and yeah, I've already tightened that back up. So you know how I said I was going to run the old axle? Well, I lied. I bought a new axle, and there were two. I don't know if I got the right one. I'm hoping I did. I lined it up, it looked correct, but I won't tell till that old leaky one is out. Okay, so when working on this ball joint, I haven't got it put back on yet, but easy way to get it off is you go to AutoZone and rent this tool. It pushes on it, and then you take a hammer and tap the bottom of it. Here's the name. It's $12 to rent, and then you get the money back once you return it. So free. But you tighten it to the bottom, and then you take just a small hammer and give it a tap right there, and it pops out, and then you're done. But like, my axle's bad. So good thing I replaced it, but it was spewing grease. Oh, my old exhaust isn't over here. It already spewed it on my new exhaust, but it's just grease covering right there. So they were bad. That one was bad. I'm hoping the other side is good. Okay. Garage is, for the most part, clean. I can get to the exhaust now. I'm gonna set my welder up, move the oil pan, move the stuff, the rags, and tack it, and then try to get it off and weld the rest up. And I will be back once it's tacked and off. Alright, so I got it welded up. Not the best weld, but like, and I know it's not connected here, but it is connected. And this is supposed to look like that. That's what an exhaust leak looks like. It was leaking before I even got the new exhaust. And this is from my old axle. All this grease. Yeah, this is strong and should stay on there pretty good. And keep in mind, this is only my second day welding, so I say that's pretty good.